Just after the start of stage 19, Valdegaard sensed something was wrong with the Toyota steering. An exciting moment bouncing off a bank and into a ditch convinced him that something was definitely amiss. It was not the steering, however. It was the panhard rod that had broken. At the next service, a complete axle assembly is fitted, and Bjorn is still secure in 4th place. At the Audi service point in Rotorua, Mikkola arrives, having taken some time back off Blomqvist on the last few stages into the overnight halt. Mikkola's only problem during this second leg had been when the boost pressure had dropped on his engine, and he had lost a little time. But once this was cured, he attacked Blomqvist's times with a vengeance. The gentleman's agreement to allow the leader a free run, whilst the second man kept a buffer between him and Alain, looked a little tenuous. Blomqvist arrives knowing his lead is down to only 7 seconds, and whilst Hannu has gone off to relax and enjoy a coffee in the warmth of the garage office, Stig prowls around his car, even helping mechanics to get his lighting set up exactly as he wants them. For Toyota, the frantic activity belies the air of real calm in the local Toyota dealership, as gearboxes, axles and suspension units are changed on the Celicas. Other than Kankanen's prop shaft and Valdegaard's panhard rod, the Toyotas are enjoying a good run. Tyre wear problems which have beset the team in the past are thankfully not happening. After 10 more stages on day 2, the leading Quattros are locked together. Alain, 2 minutes in arrears, has a comfortable gap to Valdegaard. Further down, Neil Alport has clawed his way past Reg Cook to be first Kiwi, while Possum Bourne has got the Group A Subaru into 10th spot. Another bright sunny morning and the start of day 3 of the 1984 Sanyo New Zealand Rally. So far the weather has been perfect and the competition has matched it. An early morning frost coats the rally cars as they line up in Parc Ferme alongside Lake Rotorua. 12 more stages lie ahead today, totalling 322 kilometres. The first stage out from Rotorua is one of 7 due to be held in the Rotorua Forest Complex. The stages here are more sandy than those previously used and will definitely favour the Quattros. Stage 25 is narrow and twisty, with an air almost of a tropical jungle, as crews thread their way through the dense vegetation. The Quattros again set first and second fastest times, with Alain in 3rd place. Team Toyota Europe boss Ove Anderson joins the crowd to see his crews in action, and only 2 seconds separate them, Kankanen being the fastest. The 2 Nissan 240 RSs are still there, although not making an impression on either of the 2 Toyotas. The 2 RS 1800s of Alport and Stewart are also still battling it out, with Alport drawing ahead, beating Stewart on this stage by 14 seconds. The real drama lies ahead, however, on stage 27. Mikkola, pushing Blomqvist hard, had closed the gap to 1 second. Then Blomqvist fought back to take 5 seconds back off him. On stage 27 it all came to naught when Mikkola clipped the inside of a bend and had a slow roll, putting the Quattro onto its roof. Fortunately, the Audi support helicopter is hovering overhead, and willing hands soon have it back onto its wheels again. The problems don't end there. A small fire starts after oil has been sprayed onto the turbo. The resultant time loss drops Hannu one place to lie 8 minutes behind Alain. Timo Salonen also has cause to remember stage 27. He rolls twice but comes to rest on his wheels and remarkably, despite the revised bodyline, sets second fastest time. The most serious casualty was Juha Kankkunen. Concentrating perhaps too hard on catching Stewart's escort than listening to Fred Gallagher's notes, he bounces 3 or 4 times off the banks before rolling slowly 30 feet down a ravine. He was fortunate the trees held him, as it was a further 80 feet to the river in the bottom. Help was soon on hand, and whilst a recovery Land Rover took the strain to prevent the rally car from sliding further down the slope, a more substantial breakdown truck was brought up to retrieve the car. Much pushing and heaving soon had it back on its wheels, and back onto the track. Remarkably, there was relatively little damage, and once some fresh Duckham's oil was poured into the engine, it fired up and the crew were to drive it back to the Rotorua rest halt. There only remains a further 5 stages south of Rotorua before the overnight halt and the final day of the rally. For the remaining Toyota of Valdegard, a niggling electrical problem had to be rectified. Every time the spotlights are flicked on, all the lights go out. As the Toyota mechanics swarm over the car, they soon have things sorted. Perhaps a question of many hands make light work. Bjorn had earlier lost over 10 minutes on the infamous stage 27, replacing a fuel injection pipe, and he was now behind Salonen. The leaderboard shows Stig with a healthy lead. Marco too looks to have a secure second place. There is little hope that Valdegard will catch Salonen, nor indeed, barring problems, that any of the other placings will alter. Possum Bourne has now moved into 8th spot with the Group A Subaru, and Blair Robson makes his first appearance in the top 10. The final day, and competitors have to tackle the only Ford on the rally on stage 39. Blomqvist takes no chances as he eases through the water splash, much to the disappointment of the spectators, who include the local school, given the day off just to watch the rally. Fortunately, the other crews aren't so timid. As the sun begins to fall, there remains only 2 more stages en route to the rally finish back in Auckland. Blomqvist, still at the head of the field, is content to let Alain and Mikkola fight for the fastest stage times, knowing he's sufficiently in the lead and only mechanical problems can rob him of victory. Salonen too knows the gap to Valdegard is too much to worry about being overtaken, and indeed most crews are content to motor at 8/10 towards the finish. Cook has managed to consolidate his number 1 Kiwi place and is naturally reluctant to risk losing it. The finish ramp at the Travelodge Hotel Auckland at the end of 4 days and nearly 1,100 kilometres of stages. Possum Bourne and Mike Eggleton bring their 4-wheel drive Subaru home in 8th place and first Group A, a popular victory for the likeable Kiwi. Reg Cook finishes first Kiwi, however, in 6th place after his rally-long battle with Malcolm Stewart. 5th overall, Bjorn Valdegard and Hans Thorselius, not destined to repeat their win of 2 years ago. The fuel injection problems on the 3rd day costing them a certain 4th place. In 4th spot, Timo Salonen and Seppo Hayane, who despite their role never gave up and entertained in fine style with their sideways driving technique. Third overall, Hannu Mikkola and Arne Hertz, who also never gave up hope right to the end that they could catch Marco Alleyne. Unfortunately, their roll and subsequent fire on stage 27 cost them too much time to make up. Second overall, a delighted Marco Alleyne, partnered by Ilkka Kivimäki. Their Lancia 037 ran faultlessly throughout the event. They are aware, however, that four-wheel drive is necessary to win, and leave no one in any doubt that when the new four-wheel drive Lancia Delta arrives on the rally scene in 1985, that's exactly what they will be doing. For Stig Blomqvist and Bjorn Cederberg, winning the 1984 Sanyo New Zealand Rally is a just reward after their cruel disqualification from the 1983 event. They had driven a well-judged and trouble-free event and richly deserved the applause of the crowd at the end of a first-class performance on a first-class rally.